do you brainwash? Well, you repeat it. You repeat the same thing over and over again. You know, if somebody's resisting the concept, if you keep repeating it, after 6 times, they'll incorporate it in their brain. They may not agree with it, but repeat it another 1,000 times, they'll start saying it. I could start a campaign called Wah-Pat-Pat for like $4 billion this week. And in like 24 hours through Twitter, everybody could be walking around going Wah-Pat-Pat, Wah-Pat-Pat. Okay, so here's the picture of the Earth from space. There it is. Since you were a kid, you've seen this image. But you've never seen it from that point of view. You've never seen that with your eyes from that scale of a model, that point of view, from outside of the planet's surface. But your brain has 3-dimensionalized, oh yeah, that's the Earth. How? Through repetition. Next image. How do we get to this point of the image? I think this is funny. Next image. Well, here's the first image that sold the whole thing. As you can see, that's clearly the universe. I mean, that's clearly the universe. I mean, there's the sun. I mean, I can recognize that thing. It's a bullseye. It's like a planet. It's an egg. Whatever. But there you go. You got each rung, the whole thing. 1482. This is when they came up with this idea. We are on that thing. It's a ball. Hey, we should go to the North and the South Pole. We didn't do it yet. It's a ball. Hey, nobody's even jumped up high enough to see if it is a ball. You can't do that. We don't have planes yet. It's a ball. You know what? We adopted this whole model like 400 or 500 years before the airplane. 400 years before the airplane, pretty much. Like, what, like beginning of the 1900s? They went to the North Pole in the 1900s. This is 1482. Nobody went to the top of the globe, to the bottom, or flew up, or built a skyscraper. That's it. It's been a decade since, like, Columbus hit America. That's it. You had Spinoza, Leibniz. Everybody was fighting to say what we're on, how much land there really was. Real estate, right? Real estate. The only commodity that appreciates besides art. Right? These are the only things that appreciate. Everything's depreciating except those two. It's funny how these two are going to meet and what I'm going to talk about. Next image. It's funny that we said that this is what we're in right now. This is what we're on before any instrument approved. Until, boss, can you do it? This is funny. Back in the 60s when they went to the moon, this is the first time we actually had like an instrument of flight to actually go high enough to actually check out if what we agreed to 500 years ago was real. So if they were wrong after 500 years, the question is, would they tell you? University institutions, physics, the Royal Society in London, that's of course NASA, Newtonian physics, why objects move on a ball spinning 1,000 miles an hour while it's going 26,000 miles around the sun. It's basically the model we accepted right now. I don't feel it's spinning 1,000 miles an hour right now. Oh, that's because of gravity. Oh, hey, gravity? What's that? That's the thing you can't feel. Oh, yeah? Can you prove that in an equation? Yeah, I can prove that in an equation. It took Newton like a book 3 times thicker than the Bible, and he still couldn't finish his equation on how to prove gravity. He would try to prove gravity when you read Newton's book of Principia through like Stephen Hawking, or if you even find the original book, he would prove by saying that everything started with the word if. If you fucking take Newton's book of like if the Earth is a ball and objects are being thrown this way, blah blah blah, you know, that means that we're spinning at this amount of velocity and you can't feel it, and why the objects don't go flying off into the universe is because of gravity, because of a vacuum system of air pressure. I mean, he went to hyperbole, into ifs. I mean, if you were to highlight every time the word if came up in Newton's book of physics, you could use it as a flashlight in a dark room, man. It's like, get out of the cave with the amount of times if is highlighted in his book on physics. It's like if is every... Here's like a perfect example of them landing on the moon. I mean, it's proof right there. This is an official NASA photo of the first Apollo 11 lunar module Landing on the moon. I mean, it's right there. This is proof, man. It's the picture's right there. It's landing on the moon. But the only problem I have with this picture is that it's taken from the moon. I don't know what the big deal was with being the first guy on the moon. It seems the camera crew was already there. A tripod. Camera A, B, C. You know, back in the 60s, I mean, I know people who believe they saw the landing on the moon because they heard it on the radio. Don't get in here, they're on the moon. I can hear the dust. I can hear him walk. He's walking slow. There's zero gravity up. They're on there now. They're on there now. I could just see a guy in a sound studio just take like a bag of salt going, landing on the wooden floor, just going, they're there. They're on it right now. Don't get in here. Like, how would you know? There was no independent telescope to even, like, say they went to the moon. The only telescopes that could actually film it were NASA telescopes. Yeah, according to the people who landed on the moon, they landed on the moon. Nobody else could check it out. So there it is. That's a photo. There it is landing for the first time, but how? How? Next photo. It's funny how NASA gives us these little pictures, eh? Every week there's a little NASA photo, what they're up to. This is an amazing monumental sort of feat of space exploration. This is the Galileo satellite. Full authentic NASA imagery of the Galileo satellite. Must have cost like $1 trillion for this operation. Very expensive. This is the Galileo satellite. They never knew it would go that far and reach Jupiter. You know, they didn't know. It's the first time anything goes that far. It managed to get there. There's Jupiter. There's one of its moons. I mean, it's clearly lining up to take some really good photos of Jupiter. Immediately followed by a camera satellite. Perfectly composing the whole shot out in outer space. Amazing, eh? What the cameras can do when they fly. It's into outer space, a place we've never been to. That's amazing. Look at that. That's perfect. That's like the photo of the year, if you ask me. For a satellite to be able to, like, wake up in outer space, we didn't even know we could do that, and unbelievable. I give it to NASA. Let's go to another photo here. Another photo. This is good too. Oh, let's zoom in. I love that iMovie sort of effect. I'm really in the gas. But how am I supposed to go? Yeah, that's the Earth. From there, that point of view I've never seen. And it's funny when you click on Google Images, photo of the Earth, keep going. Because this is realistic. But you'll see 40 pages on Google. But it's always the same photo. It's the same photo. They just changed the contrast. Check it out, keep going. Oh yeah, boom, 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 40 pages. Look closely. It's always the same. Oh, what is that? I guess this is a photo of the Hubble telescope taking a picture of itself. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's an authentic photo of the Hubble telescope out there doing its job. Isn't that amazing how they could take a photo of the thing taking photos? Out in outer space. Unbelievable. They never crossed Antarctica, but let's go to the moon and take pictures out in space. That's unbelievable. The instruments will work in Antarctica. It's too cold, but hey, let's go somewhere where we don't know the instruments will work. That's unbelievable. I can't. It just boggles my mind how they do this stuff. All right, next one. Solar powered, by the way. Solar powered. Look at that. Environmental. Environmental in outer space. Okay. That's it. There you go. There you go. There's what you believe. That's it. That's it. That point of view you've never seen. It's funny, huh? I think it's funny. You've never seen that, but everybody goes, yeah. Il prend ça pour acquis. Ah oui, c'est ça. L'affaire que j'ai jamais vue. It's funny, eh? You should think about these things, right? I heard that, if you want to program a human mind, what you do is you just repeat images to a young child while the brain is forming. Yeah, pretty much. And then, the kid grows up and you've wired the kid. It's mind control. It's great. But it's an example. Hey, I could be wrong. There could have been a camera rocket that got there on the moon, set up, pulled out like a lens, and then filmed it. And processed 35mm black and white film in an atmosphere. We don't know if cameras will work. All right.